Hi, it's Joy, and today I'm going to be watching Roswell, New Mexico, Season 4, Episode 10, Down in a Hole, which, fingers crossed we'll see Alex, but at the very least, I think we'll see, hopefully, Dallas and Bonnie, though I would, Down in a Hole, I want to see Alex, I miss him. I'm not, complaining, especially now that the plot has actually remembered he existed. I understand why this is happening with Tyler's, back injury and everything, but I miss him, and I miss Alex. I think it's particularly gutting because Michael and Alex's relationship is one of my favourite parts of this show. It's not the only reason I love this show, but it is one of my favourite parts of the show, and I've been really looking forward for some time to see Alex spend more time with characters other than Michael as well, to see him kind of in the same way that we often see Liz and Michael, or, Isabel and Liz. The other characters interacting with each other. I wanted to see Alex kind of getting to do a lot of that because he spent a lot of the early seasons being in the military or with Michael, and so this was kind of a good chance for that. And obviously Tyler was injured. I'm not gonna, it's no one's fault, but yeah, it's a little disappointing given that this is the final season, and I haven't actually processed the fact that there's not gonna be another season next year. But yeah, I'm rambling. You can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon, and let's go. What is this place? I'm so excited to learn.
Confused as you are.
Alice!
He saw his father before. So what happened between he fell down the hole, he talked to his dad, there was the white thingy-majig. Now we're here?
I feel fine.
She's clearly not fine.
Shaking hand says otherwise.
She's very high on alien mist.
Just slow down for a second, we almost died last night.
Okay, so you can see why I'm eager to not repeat that.
Liz, you're very clearly not okay.
All Clyde said was that Theo, Nora, and Louise hid the way home, and that Theo's Bible was the key to finding our way.
Did they build their ship in an alternate world?
Because we fell into the...
He left me a message via a...
They don't even know Alex is down here, do they?
Again.
Hey,
Hey.
Oh, they're so awkward now.
Do you want me to leave?
Oh, this is so talk. Hug. Platonically, if need be.
We can hug, right?
Yeah, of course.
Oh. Isabel will get there.
Best part of waking up.
Michael.
Oh, yeah. Not one to probe and tell. But I did find something.
Allie Myers?
It's Maria of Alien Setting Test Death.
Oh, they're so awkward. They also love each other.
Is Liz laying down? I brought my bag too.
No, Liz is off.
Sounds good, but
But I'm here now.
You should be so mad at her. She had no right to do that.
So you got a taste of the positive side effects on the back end? And now I'm ready to move on.
I'm stressed about the consequences of this.
So,
This is not good.
where do we start? More mist.
Addicted much, Liz?
I see the warrior that's waiting to return.
We can trust you, and we're gonna help you, because it's the right thing to do.
Let's see what you've got.
Fuck. Michael? Holy shit.
Turn around, Garen.
Fuck.
Has it ever done that before?
The symbol on the console means open, or possibly death.
Ah. Well, that's
You're
true.
wonderful.
I'd like to not get wrong.
I was hoping you and I could pick up where we left off.
Well, he said that what you're sensing...
We adore that Rosa is able to be a teacher now.
Everything had...
We're gonna take down this space tyrant until you no longer feel fear.
So she made him easier to beat?
No matter how many times Jones pops up, we will take him down.
I like this idea.
I'm not afraid of him anymore.
Vent some of that frustration and just whack the bitch in the face. Oh lord. These are the people she hurt for Jones.
It's everyone I hurt. It's everyone I killed.
Isabel, time to wake up.
traitor!
Fuck.
Until Jones.
It wasn't your fault.
Teska.
It was... Teska, it wasn't your fault.
failed.
Healing takes time. It's not the same thing, but maybe if Isabel opened up to her about what she went through with Noah, it's different, but it's very similar traumas. And maybe, you know, like what happened to Rose and everything, it was Isabel's body, even if it wasn't Isabel. And in the same way that Tesco, the people she killed, it wasn't her who she really is, that was Jones's influence. Like maybe being able to kind of say, look, I'm never going to try and say I get what you went through, but I am one of the people in this world who's closest to being able to, and maybe they could work that way.
What are you doing here?
You need to be honest with him. Liz,
I was collecting.
she's high and addicted.
My paw.
Are you checking up on me?
I trust you.
Then let me do what I do.
You nearly died.
I'm working on
Some concern is reasonable.
I don't have... Like Shivani.
Shivani, who almost killed you?
Uh-huh.
Accidents happen. Darwin
You're
called it evolution.
very clearly not okay, Liz.
So get out of my way so I can go and make that possible.
Just the way she's phrasing these things isn't the way Liz would phrase it. You are addicted.
You think we're moving too fast?
Yes.
Because I saw Max.
Look, the idea of this I so support, but it's the ethics that are moving way too fast.
We did it.
No. Is it the same?
Get Nicole ready. Just finished the last of her blood. She's my sister. There's always more blood.
Fuck. Liz, you are lost.
Earth was the first place that I finally felt free. Now
Well,
I'm
you're
ready
gonna get to
back.
stay here. I'm scared that Clyde is just observing their progress, ready to sweep in at the last second.
Nothing's working on this console.
Oh my
We're
god.
still stuck on the ET equivalent of internal server error. Forget it, Valenti. Everything goes in, nothing comes out. Just like Alex.
He's coming out.
We'll find him.
Our love is losing out to a hole in the ground.
It's not. You were going to survive this.
Something that's always just out of reach. The truth is, she just didn't reach back.
That's okay.
But you know who's reaching back? Alex.
Mm-hmm.
To you.
Mm-hmm.
He's out there somewhere doing his damnedest to reach you through Maria. Every bit as determined to be with you as you are.
Exactly. Because you love each other.
Powerful. So the minute you want to start giving up the faith, I'll keep it.
Ooh,
For the both of you.
I love you so much. Just think about how much personal growth this man has had. And he's become like the most beautiful human being.
My inner self.
Oh, your inner self needs to get a better handle on symmetry and color balance.
Liz, you are not well.
It's too complicated to explain.
Rosa, this isn't good.
You're taking the mist?
Hmm? An addict can recognize another addict.
Right, Rosita. Just because you struggle with self-control does not mean I do too.
Rosa, you know that addicts lash out when they're hurting and when they're being confronted. Talk to someone about Liz.
We should go. I killed dozens. That was by Joan's hand.
The sword was in my hand, Isabel.
You can make amends.
You make amends
I can
every
help
day
you
going
going
forward. You will find a way through
Is it going
this.
to change what happened? You have to acknowledge what happened.
And
Fast.
keep walking through and you will get to another side where you can make a difference
What?
for yourself.
When
And
I found out what my husband had done to me, my world was shattered. That's entirely up to you.
exactly. If anybody who gets their brain altered by somebody else, and I watch and read a lot of sci-fi and fantasy where this kind of thing happens, it is not your fault. The actions are not done by your choice because your free will was taken away the moment they altered your perception of the world. And yes, in cases like this where you were still technically in control, just your worldview was skewed, is iffier, but like it feels iffier to yourself, but it isn't. And those people who, you know, saying you're a traitor, you betrayed us, if they had seen what happened, their hearts would have broken for you.
Need to find.
Stargate?
What is it?
A Stargate?
Does
How's the Stargate? Stargates have all control pods before them that look just like this.
This must control the
Stargate!
Michael said that the star map.
Fuck, and we could come and go.
So maybe this could go to all of them.
Looks like I'm close.
There's a version in the real world as well. Fascinating.
Oh my god. Did you know that she's still having alien whippets?
He suspected. I really respect Texter, because this is not an easy journey to go through.
Transportation?
One that can link our world to others across vast
It's a literal Stargate, and I'm not gonna shut up about this.
Garen, your console is
Flickering.
consoling. Did you touch it? No, just
Praying to God that this message is received.
Morse code.
it's Morse code.
Bless you, Michael, for knowing Morse code. I adore him. I adore him.
I learned it at summer camp.
Why does Michael know it? Because he's a geek and I love him.
What does the flashing say?
Alex.
Michael's first message was, "Are you Alex?" Because he just so desperately wanted to hear back, "Yes, I am Alex, and I am with you." And I just... At least they now know that there's someone else wondering. Would Bonnie's flare have attracted something?
No.
Bring your console.
He's already got it with him. Bonnie shot a flare up. Could Alex have seen that?
And I would never hold you back.
Mm-hmm.
Our conversation in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Blaming me for something that I said in a fever dream.
Because taking that stuff, that isn't a hard choice.
No, it's the easy
It's getting
choice.
into fear.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here to help you stop, okay? All I've ever wanted is to be the man behind Liz Orteco.
And I am out.
That is unethical.
So it's only okay when you do it.
It's a whole question. It's not black and white.
With just a
I didn't bail. I accepted my limitations. Now why can't you accept yours?
Fuck.
Maybe you're my limit.
This is an addict. And the worst thing is, there is merit behind what she's saying. You know, it's not a totally flawless argument. It is quite an unethical argument. I think that there are a lot of flaws in it that she is just jumping over. But it's even harder because it makes sense what she's saying, which is always how addicts feel. What they're saying makes sense. Well, if we move the pods, you won't be able to get any more.
Resurrected? It's dead.
Yep.
There are some things science can't do. Shivani, this is one of them.
Come on, Liz.
Away. There isn't.
You know that Shivani is never gonna...
Time we waste trying is better spent on 100 other things because
I admired you. Your strength, your determination to accomplish.
Just have to deal with the grief, and I don't know how you can.
This is not your strength, it is your weakness. I thought we... And so I am done with emotional ties. That is my weakness. Without the distraction of Max, nothing is holding me back.
Elizabeth.
Partnerships only work when we're both on the same path and we're clearly at a crossroads.
You gave her so much information about aliens and people we care about. Talk to him.
Hey, Isabel. I'm hoping you can help me get my powers back.
Not with the mist? Because if he just grabbed some mist, it would work. Thank you, Kyle, for keeping him going.
Put my pieces together today, Valenti.
Mhm.
Hope you.
Alice, look.
There's power in this thing. It's almost on E.
Oh god.
I'm going through.
Michael!
But there might be more fruit for fuel on the other side.
And Alex is on the other side.
It's my one shot to see Alex, okay? I'm not letting it go.
I'm more than just a taker.
Oh, Bonnie, I love you too.
I want to help my friend find the man that he loves.
I love you so much, Bonnie. Michael, if you're going, go!
Michael.
Now we find Alex.
Yes, we do! Next week. I guess I'm emotional, and you want to make me wait a week. Oh, okay. So this episode was fantastic. I adore this show so much. Right. So the idea that they didn't build a ship, they were building a Stargate. And just bear with me, I'm going to call the portal a Stargate. It's a circle like a Stargate. It has a little console thing in front of it like a Stargate. If it looks like a Stargate and it talks like a Stargate, it's a Stargate. Obviously, it's just a portal, but you know, I love Stargate. It was my childhood, okay? So, they have the Stargate. And the idea that potentially that was part of why they came to Earth. I don't actually know 100% if Earth was their intended target. But the reason they left Oasis, it was to flee the dictator, but it was also to find a refuge away from him. But they would still have a way to quickly get backwards and forwards, and maybe a base they could take him down from, a safe refuge. It just adds so many layers of that flight, that fleeing, and Teska being, you know, someone that was on their side but who was flipped by Jones, therefore giving him a lot of the information, explains how Jones knew so much about their plans, it explains how Jones was able to infiltrate the ship. Absolutely fantastic. Like, it just adds so many layers and so many explanations. And also, I'm just gonna say, a portal to Oasis is a step, and you're there. Okay? So all of the thing of like, is Alex up for like a decades-long we take a little hop, skip and jump, we can have a holiday in Oasis and be home to Earth for dinner. Genuinely, like, this changes everything. And like, this is trouble is like, it changes everything, but there are, what, 3 episodes? I can't even say the words, but you know what I mean, there are 3 episodes. At least one of those is going to be spent finding Alex and getting enough fruit to power the console, which, kind of destroying that. What? We still don't entirely know what Ophiuchus' aims are here. Does Ophiuchus, I mean, I assume Ophiuchus is Jones, unless Jones had a superior, but do they want to use the portals to take over the whole world? Like, the whole universe even? There's obviously some stuff there we need to understand. But I absolutely love what we learned in this episode. I adored seeing the way Isabel, you know, she set up this, after what she went through, she has rededicated her life to helping women going through hard times and finding their strongest versions of themselves. And I admire that so much. And the fact that this woman that when she was a little girl gave her so much strength, she's able to help find her way through as well, I really loved. And I knew it would take, to a degree, Isabel opening up to, like, I have had a similar experience. Because, again, no 2 traumas are the same, no 2 experiences are the same. You know, if you go through a horrible breakup with an abusive boyfriend, it's not going to be the same as someone else going through the same scenario, but it's enough that you can kind of extend a branch of, like, I kind of get it. And you can look at Isabel and think, well, she found a way through, maybe I can too. I do also hope that with time, Teska will be able to see more and more that it wasn't her fault. She fought Jones as much as she could to what she thought was going to be her last breath. And he took that away from her, and he took who she was away from her. That is not her fault. So I love that she was able to give what information she could, and I'm sure she's still going to be scrambled and struggling a little bit, but we have another ally on our side. I also love Bonnie, you know, with what Dallas said to her about, you don't have to be what they've made you think you are. You don't have to just be a taker. You can be a giver. You can have more sides to you. And I loved seeing her find her way through that as well. Seeing her realise that maybe with her ability, she literally takes, but she can give so much to the world. And she already has given so much to the world. And the fact that Michael's her friend and she wants to have fun, Alex, just, they are everything. So I love everything we learned about the Oasians and the technology and the gate, Stargate. I thought that they weren't building a ship, they were building a console, and it's so interesting. And it almost makes me think if we were going to be given another season, whether we might actually spend a lot of time on Oasis, potentially, if they had been given a 5th season, because, like, what is Oasis like now? Is it thriving because the dictator left, didn't come back? Like, I assume Jones didn't expect he'd be gone for as long as he was. Or is there another clone of Jones just casually ruling in Oasis? Is it the Ophiuchus movement still in like oppressing people, or has Oasis built through the rubble, or did Oasis collapse as a result of everything it went through? There's just so much there that we could have explored, but with a portal so we could just pop to and from. Honestly, I'm so emotional right now. There were so many moments of that were emotional. Kyle is one of the best people. I mean, he is the best person in the world. Like, he is just so good, and I truly think, having been a shitty teenager and looking at his own actions and thinking, I hate myself, really helped him grow into a much better person. And I absolutely love the way he stayed strong for Michael when Michael was struggling, when Michael was faltering, because anybody would falter in that scenario. He was able to be like, your love is beyond powerful. It is the kind of love we all dream of having. I will fight for it for you. And he gave Michael that boost that Michael needed to keep going. I also do think Isabel is just going through a lot. She is still, I mean, she has healed so much and so far from what Noah did to her, but that kind of healing isn't linear, it isn't easy, you don't just reach the end and healed now. It is going to be something she carries with her to a degree all of her life. Now, obviously, I do believe you can heal and you can diminish that trauma's impact on you and you can get to a better place mentally, but she is still fighting through that, and there is still that part of her that thinks, you know, like she said to Maria, I think it was, in last week's episode, that she destroys everything she touches, and that, you know, I think almost like there's a part of her that is looking and thinking, like, Kyle deserves better. Whereas the relationship she built with Anatsa was so healthy and strong, other than her not being able to tell her the truth about being an alien, and Kyle knows all of that. She could have such a beautiful relationship with him, if it's what she wants, and I think we have seen enough for her to see that she does want it. But I also adore Kyle, because yes, it's awkward whenever they're together, but what he said to Michael about, you know, she just didn't reach back, like, I reached out, I reached as far as I could, and she wasn't interested. I think he is going to respect Isabel not wanting to be with him 1,000 times. He's not going to do that rom-com thing of, oh, she's just playing hard to get, I'll keep pursuing her and eventually she'll love me. But I do think eventually she'll love him, right? Because they just have such beautiful chemistry. But regardless, I do believe their friendship will survive this, even if she does decide that she doesn't want anything more with him, and that is what is mostly important. All of the equation stuff is everything. The fact that Michael's first message was, "Are you Alex?" Not, "Who is this?" "Are you Alex?" And then the minute that portal was flickering and he was just going to go through there, because he would rather be stuck in a weird upside down version of Roswell with Alex than away from him. Together, I believe they will find a way home. Like you said, I think there's most likely going to be a fruit tree they can get there to get the fuel, or even potentially just their necklaces could have enough oomph in them to power the... I don't know. But there will be a way for them to find their way back, and I absolutely adored the fact that he just was willing to jump through there. Maria will hopefully be able to find a way to talk to them or hear them as she fine-tunes her powers. I am so proud of Rosa. That girl has been through so much, and I'm so thankful she was given her second chance at life, because I truly believe the point at which she was killed originally, you know, she had the bus ticket to leave Roswell and go and try and get clean, which Mr. Valenti was helping her with, and you know, I don't think becoming sober is never a straight, it's like healing, it's not a straight line, it's always going to be there, but I think she was reaching a point where she actually might have been able to pull herself together and help herself. And obviously Noah's obsession took that away from her. And I've loved getting to watch her have that second chance and grasping it. And she's not only, I mean, she's becoming the best version of herself. She's being able to teach and help others who are struggling and give back a lot of that love and care that they gave to her, which I know will mean everything to her. And it breaks my heart that she has to see her little sister in a similar position to what she has been into. She knows what it's like. So acutely when you're in the grip of that addiction, but she's also now being able to try and help Liz get her through this, and I'm so proud of this young woman and what she's gone through, what she's become, and I'm also really proud of Amber Midthunder. I haven't seen any of the Predator movies, but I may have to watch Prey just because she's in it. So Rosa is everything. Trying to save Liz and Max till last, because that's kind of a big portion of the episode. I'm just trying to see if I've missed anything else. I love all these characters so dearly. I'm kind of hopeful we're going to see Alex. Like, obviously, I don't know the details of Tyler's back injury, but I think, like, hopefully he'll be able to be in the last 3 episodes. They can at least find him in the next one, and then we'll be back together for the last 2. I genuinely have no idea where this season is going. You know, I thought they might come across a ship, but having a Stargate, a portal, they've never mentioned anything like that before, so I had no idea that's what they were going to find. I'm so thankful for it. Liz. She is struggling. I really respect the way Max is being there for her, you know, like, I think in the morning he could tell something was up. But right now there were just some red flags, there wasn't any proof. She could have just been dealing with the side effects, and potentially the morning after, that kind of thing, she might be a bit frazzled and all over the place. And I think Max would have just kept an eye on her until the warning signs became, like, flaring red lights. And obviously Rosa was able to be like, this is the problem. And I love when he went to speak to her, and you know, the fact that he immediately opened up with, your worst thoughts about yourself and about our relationship aren't true. Because he does not want her to be mediocre. He does not keep her mediocre. All he will ever do, and all he has ever done, is stand behind her and support her. But what I think Max has also done for Liz, and I think Rosa has done this, and like everyone in her life has done this, is there are sometimes people we need to have in our lives to say, you're crossing a line if you do that. That's a step too far, because all of us are capable of doing things that are wrong in the pursuit of our passions or dreams. So I thought that conversation, you know, he was desperately trying to get through to her, and it shows you the strength of their love, even with her going through addiction, because he did get through to her. And I know it was the fact that the frog was dead, but I do wonder if she had simply turned around and seen that the frog was dead without Max's conversation, I think she would have been like, step one failed, we'll keep trying. But Max was able to kind of point out that it's not ethical, and you know, there are definitely arguments to be had that what he did with Rosa wasn't ethical, and I think at the time people were cross with him about it, that he made this decision without consulting anybody, and he put it, like, it was a messy situation. But this is very different because it is clinical, it is not passionate and heat of the moment, it is Liz just being clinical, doing this thing. And I don't hate or blame Shivani, because I cannot even begin to imagine the pain of losing a child. No one should have to go through that, but you just wish that she would be able to funnel some of that grief into making sure it doesn't happen, trying to stop it happening to anybody else, you know, channeling all of her money and resources into curing whatever happened to her daughter so no one else has to go through that. To that kind of line of thinking, the kind of line of thinking Liz is going down. But I also can not even begin to understand how grief of losing a child, and you've seen such amazing, incredible science, why can't this work also? But Liz taking a step away from Shivani, I think is very, very important, because Shivani is desperate and off the rails, but it also scares me because she knows there are 3 alien pods, and she probably knows where they are by now. She's probably had Liz followed. She knows Max is an alien. It's not hard to put 2 and 2. His sister's called Isabel, and there's a guy they hang around with a lot who also was in the foster care system. These could, you know, I think the pieces are able to be put together, and that does potentially put us at risk if she does something with that. We still haven't seen Ali Myers. She's still just off in Mexico someplace. Maybe she'll be able to come back and talk some sense into her wife. I imagine that's part of why they're separated, why she is just drinking in Mexico being miserable, is because she lost her daughter and her wife went off the rails. So I don't hate Shivani, I don't particularly like her right now, but I think she is just a very, very lost person, and I understand why. Liz is such an interesting case because she is so clearly addicted and high, and the worst part is what she's saying makes sense. Now, I do think to a degree addicts always think they're making sense, but when they say, oh, I just need one more to help me, just, you know, one last hit, and that'll get me through it. They kind of, part of them, they believe it, and it makes sense in their head. But for Liz, if she were to keep doing this, she potentially could save loads of lives, but she would just cross a lot of ethical boundaries that are there for a reason, and it is a big mess of a situation. I think it's interesting now that we've got Liz has broken away from Shivani. Hopefully he's going to realise she was a right bitch to her sister, but like, she's broken away from Shivani in that angle of it, but she still wants to do the science. She still wants to do what she has always done with this drug. So I think it's going to be interesting. Is she going to go to them and be like, yeah, look, you're right. I still want to do the science, but this mist stuff is not right. Regardless, I do think if she were to stay on this path, Max and Isabel, Michael's no longer around to help, should take the pods and hide them someplace. I don't know how many caves there are in the desert that could hide 3 pods, but they should move them so that Liz can access the stuff she needs to make the mist. But I love that they're doing an intervention for her, they want to try and help her, and Max wants his powers back. I find it interesting that he wants Isabel to help him get them back, like he wants Isabel to, because he lost them through Bonnie. It's not like he's psychologically blocked them, unless, like, we know that there was like surely he needs the mist that Liz has to puff some of that like Michael did, and then he'll get his powers back. But we will see where this goes, and hopefully they'll be there for Liz when she realises just how far she is slipping into her most dangerous self. The easy path often, you know, you think, oh, I can get everything, I'll fix everything, I'll save everyone if I just do this, but you're crossing a dangerous line. So yeah, this episode was fantastic. I'm so excited for the next one. I'm secretly hopeful. I mean, this is the next episode is the one where I'm the most hopeful we'll get a Malak's reunion. Like I said, I'm not going to say I haven't enjoyed the season. I'm not going to say, you know, this season's been bad, because it hasn't been. It's been very, very good. There have been a lot of interactions and relationships that I've loved, but just ties back into Roswell at such an awful time, and I truly do wish there was a 5th season, because we all deserve it, and the characters all deserve it. But yes, I will save these last episodes. Phenomenal episode as always. A reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon, and thank you so much for watching.